get past the point where we have a letter of intent. I am interested in buying this business. I've given an intention of a potential acquisition price and what would be the terms of the deal. But obviously, all of this is based on the completion of my due diligence. Talk to me. Again, I'm a buyer.
Satisfactory completion.
Satisfactory completion. So I'm a buyer now. So speak to me as a buyer. Talk to me about the due diligence I should be doing, and give me an idea of the time frame, and also give me an idea of the people that I should be calling upon to help with this due diligence.
Well, when you perform due diligence, you really want to answer 6 broad questions. First question is, what's the business model? How does the business make money, lose money? What does it do to generate its revenues and expenses? The next item is, what are the business's assets? And not all of a business's assets are listed on its balance sheet. You and I, as accountants, know that there's going to be inventory and cash and receivables. But what about other assets? They have a trained workforce. They have customers who know about them. They have suppliers who are willing to sell to them. You have liabilities. Liabilities are what's on the balance sheet. But in many small businesses, they don't list their contingent liabilities or their accrued expenses. The most common accrued expense that's omitted from a closely held business's profit on balance sheet are accrued vacation and sick pay, where they owe employees for their vacation and sick pay. The fourth question is, what's going to change? Just as a result of the passage of time, are we going to need things anymore like this? None of us use a travel agent anymore. And what about all the now, like with people working remotely, do we really need as many businesses that service the commuters? And so then the fifth question is, what will change as a result of you purchasing the business? For example, maybe I could bring in new customers, or maybe customers who only bought from the business because they had a relationship with the seller will evaporate. And the sixth item is, what can I do to improve the business? And what can I do to make it better? And that's what's going to happen. Now, how long does it take? It really depends on the quality of the information that the seller has, the responsiveness of the requests, and also the knowledge and the comfort that the buyer has with the business. In many cases, if you're selling to a competitor, and assuming you're able to get past all of the issues about the competitor knowing about you, their due diligence could be very short because they know how the business is run. They know what's happening in the industry.
I think another thing that impacts the time frame, I'm assuming, is also the size of the business, right? I mean, if you're buying $1 million versus $100 million business, there's just going to be more time involved. Is there a general sort of rule of thumb as to how long due diligence should take? Is it 30 days, 60 days, something like that? Like, what do you normally say?
It generally takes longer than people expect.
Right.
I don't know. It just seems like in many cases you could buy a business quickly. In their 2014 annual report, Berkshire Hathaway's annual report, Warren Buffett goes through a story of how he met with somebody, and within 15 minutes he had a deal to buy the insurance company.
Yeah.
I mean, and one thing, if I could just, a lot of times when people interview for a job, the employer knows within a minute or two whether they want to hire the employee. And I think a buyer knows pretty quickly if they want to buy the business. And the due diligence is just to validate their assumptions.